Welcome to this presentation on aromatherapy for this moment in history. I'm Ann Williams. I'm a massage therapist, aromatherapist, and the Director of Education for Massage Mastery Online, which I founded with my husband, shown here, Eric Brown. I also founded a little passion project called Plant Spirit Life. At Massage Mastery Online, we create digital, interactive, multimedia textbooks and continuing education courses for the massage profession. Visit us at massagemastery.online. My ongoing lifelong passion is aromatherapy. I've been an aromatherapist for more than 25 years. I have a personal website called Plant Spirit Life, where my motto is, every plant has a story that can change your life. From this website, I explore aromatherapy and the cultural histories of plants that inform their spiritual keys. I hope you'll check it out. Now let's jump into our topic. But before we jump in, a brief warning. Some of the news images used in the introduction to this presentation might be disturbing for some people. If you're afraid that these images might disturb you, please take 2 minutes to get yourself a glass of water and then come back. I'd like everyone to rewind to December 31st, 2019. Where were you as you celebrated New Year's Eve? Think about what you were proud of from your accomplishments in 2019 and what you were looking forward to doing as the year began. I don't know about you, but for me, it feels like a lifetime ago. As the year began on January 3, 2020, a U.S. drone strike killed Iranian General Soleimani, leading to an escalation of tension between the U.S. and Iran, with massive protests, threats of war, and Iran's retaliatory attack on Iraqi bases housing U.S. troops. On January 8th, in a related incident, 63 Canadians and 104 others were killed traveling to Canada after Ukraine International Airlines Flight 752 was shot down by Iran shortly after takeoff. The impeachment trial of President Donald Trump began on January 16th, the culmination of years of hearings and painful political acrimony. The political situation in the U.S. continues to be full of lies, conspiracy theories, anger, and threats to democracy. On January 20th, the Canadian pipeline and railway protests brought national attention to the rights of Indigenous people in Canada. On January 28th, 7 people were killed in a helicopter crash in California, among them Kobe Bryant and his 13-year-old daughter. Meanwhile, in China, a strange virus began to spread, its presence a silent clock counting down to the time it would bring the world to its knees. And that was January 2020. We all know what happens next. Around the world, we're living through an unprecedented time in history. Each of us has a unique experience, but all of us are holding a piece of the collective confusion, anxiety, and grief. So today, I want to talk about using essential oils to help us maintain our mental clarity, emotional equilibrium, and a sense of wellness while we cope with the ongoing stress of this challenging time. We'll use aromatherapy to bravely face this moment in history. Our session today looks like this. First, we're going to talk about some aromatherapy basics. Now, if you're already an aromatherapist, this will definitely be review, but I promise to keep it short. I just want to make sure that everyone knows what aromatherapy is and a little bit of something about how it works, before we jump into the main theme in our presentation. We'll really focus in on psychological uses of essential oils, learned odor responses, and then I'll point you towards some resources and we'll wrap it up. All right, let's begin with aromatherapy basics. Aromatherapy is the art and science of using essential oils for physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual well-being. The practice of aromatherapy relies on the application and inhalation of essential oils. Essential oils are natural, chemically complex, liquid extracts that come from aromatic plants with specialized structures. And it's the specialized structures part that we really want to focus on here. Aromatic plants with specialized structures are plants that can produce essential oils because they store aromatic or smelly compounds in glands, sacs, trichomes, and hairs. On this slide, you're seeing microscopic images of leaves, stems, roots, flowers, and other plant parts. The little bubbles you see are structures containing essential oils. The main way we obtain essential oils from plants is through steam distillation, which is shown here. In general, steam is used to rupture the essential oil holding structures. Essential oils are volatile, which means they turn from a liquid to a gas readily at room temperature. So, the essential oils evaporate with the steam and are then forced into a condenser where the steam is cooled, turning it back to water. Usually, essential oils are lighter molecules than water, and so they float to the top of the water and are then drained off. Sometimes the water, which also contains the soluble parts of the plant, is used as a secondary plant product that we often call a flower water or a hydrolate. Steam distillation is just one of a number of different methods used to extract aromatic oils from plants. Technically, each of these products is a little bit different, but for our purposes today, I'm just going to call everything essential oils for ease of use. And these differences today won't really impact our work at this level. Oftentimes, plants have good smells, but they store their aromatic compounds throughout the plant, not in specialized structures. That means we can't extract them. If you see essential oil of banana, blackberry essence, or cucumber oil, you know you're dealing with a synthetic. Synthetics are human-made chemicals or combinations of chemicals made in a lab to mimic the aroma of plants. Synthetics are not natural, and the human body does not respond well to their made-up chemistry. Synthetics can cause adverse reactions in people. So things like sneezing or respiratory distress, headache, upset stomach, and emotional irritation. Synthetics can build up in the human body and disrupt hormones and other body chemistry. But plants that don't have specialized structures are not the only things produced as synthetics. Plants that could be produced as essential oils might be produced as synthetics or extended in the lab with synthetics to increase profit margins. These fake essential oils are then sold as natural. And make no mistake, they are evil. People often discount true aromatherapy because they associate real essential oils with synthetic fakes. You have to use high-quality, therapeutic-grade essential oils like those supplied by these companies. Now, this will become a handout for you, so you'll have these contact details and don't need to write them down. Here's the thing, if you don't use high-quality essential oils, you're regularly exposing yourself and others to synthetics, and you won't experience any of the true benefits of aromatherapy. You'll only experience negative effects or the buildup of more chemicals in your body. Now, people often ask me if I use doTERRA. My nickname for that brand is Do Terrible. So that means no, I don't. I really want to point you to high quality essential oils. And if you do any surveying of people who have been aromatherapists for a lot of years, you'll find they are gravitating towards these four companies. Samara Botane and Original Swiss Aromatics are US companies. Fragrant Earth is a UK company, and Florihana is a French company, but all of them have websites in English, making it easy to order online and get your essential oils. Please check them out and use only the best essential oils so that you can really experience what's awesome about aromatherapy. So that brings me to why aromatherapists are so crazy about aromatherapy, because we're almost like a cult. Well, it's because this is a true wellness therapy that addresses body, mind, emotions, and spirit. Aromatherapy demonstrates pronounced benefits for the body. Essential oils are composed of natural chemicals that exert a positive influence on body tissues, body organs, and body systems. But I'm not going to discuss the physiological effects of essential oils today because I want to spend more time in other areas. At the end of the session, I'll point you towards resources that can help you if you're really interested in aromatherapy for the body. Essential oils have pronounced benefits for mind and emotions with proven anti-anxiety and antidepressant effects. This is where we'll spend the bulk of our session time. We'll be doing a deep dive into the psychological effects of essential oils. Essential oils support spiritual wellness by acting as an interruption to thinking and behaving in ways that keep us stuck. Essential oils can remind us to pause, reflect, and seek a new perspective. I love the spiritual aspects of aromatherapy, where the cultural histories of plants inspire us to persevere or point us in new directions. Again, I'll show you some resources for better understanding the spiritual keys of plants at the end of this session. It's important to remember that aromatherapy is always working holistically. Even when you're choosing an essential oil for a physiological effect, the mind, emotions, and spirit are often benefiting too. Well done! We've covered aromatherapy basics. Now let's talk about the psychological uses of plants. I think you probably realize that the psychological uses of essential oils are based on psychology, which is the scientific study of the human mind and its functions, especially those affecting behavior in a given context. Psychology studies things like how people learn, reconcile their experiences, and adapt to life events. How they are motivated, how they set goals, and apply their will to overcome obstacles. How people connect with others, generate empathy, and experience a sense of belonging to other people, families, and communities. And how people assign meaning to life events and grow from their experiences. Essential oils can support us in all of these different processes, but today we're mostly interested in how using essential oils will help us maintain our mental clarity, emotional equilibrium, and sense of wellness while we cope with the ongoing stress of this challenging time. Today, we'll use essential oils to shift adverse moods that keep us stuck in negative experience, to enter quiet but alert mind states where we can expand our thinking and clear our minds, to improve our focus, motivation, allocation of attention, and cognitive processing ability to remain mentally productive, to counter feelings of anxiety and depression so we don't become overwhelmed by fear and sadness, to reduce sympathetic nervous system activation to fortify our bodies against stress, and finally, to enhance the parasympathetic nervous system response, to help our bodies rest and recover from stress, and to aid us with healthy sleeping patterns. Essential oils help us achieve these goals through their actions on the central nervous system. Inhalations of some essential oils stimulate the central nervous system, while others sedate the central nervous system. Some essential oils influence the amygdala, while others change brainwave patterns. Some essential oils change brain chemistry, while others have euphoric properties. There are other physiological and psychological effects of essential oils, but today I'm going to focus on these primary mechanisms, understanding that psychological effects are often overlapping and complex. All psychological effects, however, rely on olfaction. Olfaction is the sense of smell. When essential oils are inhaled, the aroma of the oil triggers an olfactory response. An olfactory response is a reaction to an aroma based on its influence on the limbic system. Neurons from olfactory receptors in the nose bundle together to form the olfactory nerve, which travels to the olfactory bulb, which travels to the limbic system. The limbic system is a group of brain structures responsible for olfaction, adrenaline flow, emotion, behavior, motivation, and long-term memory. The next time you pass around your bottles of essential oils to friends, notice their responses. You'll see that aroma is always emotional. When you smell something, you're rarely neutral. You love it, you hate it, you find it intriguing, you find it challenging, but you feel something. And that's because anytime you smell, you're sending signals to the limbic center, which we know is the oldest and most emotional part of our brains. Now that we understand the role that olfaction plays in the psychological effects of essential oils, let's look at each of these effects and create aromatherapy formulations to support wellness. Let's start with essential oils that stimulate the central nervous system. Neurostimulants are agents that stimulate the central nervous system to produce alert mind states. Neurostimulants work by causing an increase in cerebral blood flow, by increasing beta wave activity in the brain, by stimulating the locus coeruleus, the area of the brain associated with the flow of norepinephrine, and by blocking GABA receptors. You'll remember that norepinephrine plays an important role in focusing attention, increasing mental alertness, and the formation and retrieval of memory. High levels are associated with the fight or flight response. GABA is the main inhibitory neurotransmitter in the central nervous system. When GABA levels are high, we feel sleepy, relaxed, even depressed. Some neurostimulants block receptor sites for GABA, reducing the activity of GABA on the brain and improving alertness and attention. These are my favorite neurostimulants: bay laurel, black pepper, coriander, eucalyptus, grapefruit, peppermint, lemon, jasmine, rosemary, sweet fennel, Scots pine, and thyme. Like any effect, each essential oil has a different strength. Some of these are mild neurostimulants, like the essential oils produced by citrus zest. Some are moderate and some are very powerful. Also, each of us is different. Something might feel overstimulating to you and understimulating to me. So we must use trial and error to figure out what's best for each of us as individuals. And that brings us to the effects of neurostimulants. Research shows that essential oils with neurostimulant effects improve the allocation of attention, counteract brain fog, enhance critical thinking ability, improve word learning and recall, increase the amount of time people can do effortful mental work, and support recovery from mental exhaustion and burnout. Use neurostimulants when you feel mentally tired or when you're having difficulty being mentally productive. When I'm doing research, writing, or creating presentations, I always have neurostimulating essential oils diffusing in my office space to support my cognitive processing tasks. Try this. Combine a citrus, which is a mild neurostimulant, often referred to as uplifting, with a stronger neurostimulant. Here are some examples. The numbers in parentheses refer to drops. You want to combine 4 drops of bay laurel with 8 drops of bergamot for a balanced aroma. You want to combine 2 drops of eucalyptus with 8 of grapefruit for a balanced aroma. So these numbers have nothing to do with the physiological or psychological effects of the essential oil or its strength. They only have to do with how strong or how soft an aroma smells. Now, if you want to make more of one blend, you just multiply the combination. For example, if you love this peppermint and lemon combination, you might make up a big batch by combining 5 drops of peppermint with 45 drops of lemon in a 5 milliliter brown or cobalt bottle with a dropper top. It's also important to know that as we're talking about these different formulations, everyone's nose is different. Something that smells strong for me might smell soft for you. You can always adjust any of these formulations by adding a drop here or subtracting a drop there. You can even add 1 or more additional essential oils. View the formulations that I'm providing here as a starting place and don't be afraid to explore. I discuss blending methods in depth in a PDF folio handout that I call Primary Methods for Blending Essential Oils. At the end of the session, I'll show you how to get a copy if you want one. Once you have combined the citrus and stronger neurosedatives, add 3 to 6 drops to an electric diffuser or a nebulizing diffuser when you need a mental pick-me-up, and diffuse these essential oils in your work or living space. Use single oils like eucalyptus, rosemary, bay laurel, or thyme in a wake-up shower. Plug the tub so that the water collects in the bottom of the tub and doesn't go down the drain. Add 2 to 4 drops of the selected neurostimulant to the water at the bottom of the tub. The essential oils will evaporate with the steam in the shower while you inhale and exhale naturally. You'll wake up and feel refreshed as you begin your day. Excellent. We have looked at essential oils that stimulate the CNS. Now let's talk about essential oils that sedate the CNS. Neurosedatives are agents that sedate the central nervous system to produce relaxed mind states. Neurosedatives act on the brain by increasing GABA levels, acting on GABA receptors, or inhibiting excitatory neurotransmitters. Valerian root essential oil is a powerful neurosedative that acts directly on GABA receptors to produce its well-known sedative and tranquilizing effects. Helichrysum is milder than valerian. It causes a gentle increase in GABA levels for a calming effect. Lavender and melissa act on excitatory neurotransmitters, causing mild sedative, anti-anxiety, and balancing effects. Some of my favorite neurosedatives include amyris, Atlas cedar, bitter orange, German chamomile. You can also use Roman chamomile, hops, hyssop, lavender, lemongrass, linden blossom, melissa, neroli, and ylang ylang. Remember, just like neurostimulants, the neurosedatives vary in strength and affect each individual differently. You might have little response to sweet marjoram, but for me, it's extremely powerful and puts me right to sleep. Use neurosedatives to reduce anxiety and related conditions and symptoms, counteract chronic stress and high stress levels, enhance relaxation responses and meditative states, ease insomnia and promote healthy sleep patterns, decrease emotional trauma and overwhelming emotions, and support recovery from periods of high stress and emotional trauma. One of my favorite ways to use neurosedatives is in an aroma mist. You spritz the mist around your head and shoulders and then inhale and exhale naturally with long, slow breaths. Do this anytime you're feeling stressed out or any anxiety. Remember not to treat yourself like a windshield. You don't want to spray the aroma mist directly into your face, and you want to keep essential oils out of your eyes. These two formulations make great anti-stress mists that can be used any time of the day. Sweet marjoram, lavender, bitter orange, and amyris, or ylang ylang, Atlas cedarwood, mandarin, and valerian root. Again, you'll see the number of drops is different for each essential oil to ensure that the aroma smells balanced. You'll add this base formulation to a mist bottle filled with filtered water and maybe some grain alcohol, which is optional. You can get bottles in different sizes, but in general, you'll add between 12 and 24 drops of your essential oil formulation to each ounce of water. You might want to add between 1 to 2 tablespoons of grain alcohol, like vodka, to give the mixture a little added sparkle. These are 3 formulations I like for pillow mists. These are helpful for people experiencing insomnia. Lavender, melissa, and bitter orange, sweet marjoram, neroli, and bitter orange, and ylang ylang, Roman chamomile, and bitter orange. Now, just to be clear, obviously I like bitter orange as a sedative citrus, but just to be clear, when you're blending these or combining these, 5 drops of lavender would be combined with 1 drop of melissa and 8 drops of bitter orange. Now, if you wanted more, you would just multiply that base formulation. So when we do a pillow mist recipe, you're going to notice that we want these to be very diluted. You literally want the aroma to be barely detectable on the pillow or not detectable at all at conscious levels. At very diluted levels, these formulations support healthy sleep patterns. But at high levels, where you're smelling too much of the blend, they'll disrupt healthy sleep patterns. Excellent work. We have looked at essential oils that stimulate and essential oils that sedate the CNS. Now let's talk about essential oils that influence the amygdala. The amygdala is an almond-shaped set of neurons located in the medial temporal lobe. It's part of the limbic system and associated with fear responses and with pleasure. The abnormal functioning of the amygdala is linked to anxiety, autism, depression, PTSD, and phobias. Psychologists call the amygdala the brain's smoke detector. It's constantly on the lookout for smoke. In other words, anything that might be scary. When the amygdala detects something scary, it pumps stress hormones into your body, causing you to fight, freeze, fly, or feel emotionally triggered. And as we've already discussed, right now, we are constantly being bombarded by scary stuff. An amygdala constantly bombarded with scary stuff becomes hypervigilant, and it begins to view more and more stuff as scary. In our modern society, people often use a drug called diazepam. You might recognize it by the trade name Valium. They use this to counteract an overactive amygdala. It treats anxiety, alcohol withdrawal, and seizures by influencing the central amygdaloid nucleus. Diazepam can reduce the hypervigilance of an overactive amygdala, but it comes with serious side effects that are potentially fatal, and this drug is addictive. Research on sedative and antispasmodic essential oils indicate that some essential oils act on the central amygdaloid nucleus in the same manner as diazepam. However, their effects are more mild, are cumulative, which means they increase with repeated use, and are not accompanied by any serious side effects. Inhaled valerian, inhaled lavender, and inhaled damask rose produce the most pronounced effects and can be regularly utilized in inhalations to reduce the hypervigilance of an overactive amygdala. While more research is needed, other essential oils, including the euphoric essential oils that we're going to discuss a little later, also produce this effect. Here are 3 anti-anxiety synergies that I like: clary sage, lavender and nutmeg, linden, cardamom and grapefruit, and frankincense, neroli, and bergamot. You can use these essential oils in an aroma mist, as we've already discussed, or you can use them to create spirit perfumes using a roller top bottle. Roller top bottles come in different sizes, so you're simply going to fill the bottle with expeller pressed vegetable oil. Sunflower oil works well, but you could also use something like jojoba or avocado, so long as they're expeller pressed from the health food store. Add between 12 to 24 drops of essential oil, depending on how strong you want the aroma. One simple and effective technique is to inhale an anti-anxiety synergy by breathing in and out deeply and slowly through the nose for 1 inhalation-exhalation cycle, and then deeply and slowly through the mouth for 1 inhalation-exhalation cycle. You're going to repeat this practice for 5 cycles. You can also pair the aroma of the anti-anxiety synergy with a positive affirmation. Currently, I'm using these affirmations: I trust the future I cannot see. I choose faith over fear. And I stay focused on the positive actions I can take in my life right now. Excellent. We have looked at essential oils that are neurostimulants, neurosedatives, and influence the amygdala. Let's talk now about essential oils that change brainwave patterns. Brainwaves are technically called neural oscillations. They are rhythmic or repetitive patterns of neural activity in the central nervous system. Neural oscillations have been linked to many cognitive functions. Currently, brainwave research on essential oils is scanty. Only a few essential oils have been tested to demonstrate their brainwave shifting function. However, it's generally assumed that all essential oils likely influence brainwaves when they're inhaled. Beta waves increase with heightened states of alertness and critical reasoning. They're characteristic of a highly focused mind. Both rosemary and jasmine significantly increase beta waves. Alpha waves occur in quiet resting states but disappear during sleep. They play a role in brain network coordination and communication. Alpha waves are characteristic of a reflexive or meditative mind. Nutmeg and valerian root essential oil reliably nudge the CNS towards alpha waves. Theta waves occur when the brain is disengaged and daydreaming. These types of brain waves indicate sleep, drowsiness, creative, and imaginative thinking that is controlled by the subconscious mind. The theta waves play a major role in the function of short-term memory and the process of building memories. Lavender and silver fir essential oil nudge the brain towards theta wave activity. To produce easy brainwave combos, simply combine the two essential oils we just discussed for each brainwave type in these concentrations. You can put them into aroma mists or diffuse them in your work and living space. Let's talk now about essential oils that change brain chemistry. Neurochemistry is the study of chemicals, including neurotransmitters, neuropeptides, and psychopharmaceuticals that control or influence the physiology of the nervous system. Neuroscience examines how neurochemicals influence the functions of neurons, synapses, and neural networks. Neurotransmitters are chemical messengers that facilitate nerve impulse transmission or carry information in the body. In recent years, there's been more interest in the understanding of how inhaled essential oils influence neurotransmitters. While I'll point to specific essential oils because they demonstrate results in research studies, we can bet that research on other essential oils will provide similar results in the future. Let's start with glutamate. This is a powerful excitatory neurotransmitter that's released by nerve cells in the brain. It's responsible for sending signals between nerve cells, and under normal conditions, it plays an important role in learning and memory. Research shows that inhalations of bergamot essential oil increase the release of glutamate in the brain. So far, bergamot is the only essential oil to influence glutamate levels. We'll find as we continue this discussion that bergamot is the great neurotransmitter equalizer. As a neurotransmitter, dopamine is related to the brain's reward system and plays a role in mood, sensations of well-being, sleep patterns, allocation of attention, and general cognitive function. Low levels of dopamine are associated with a decline in memory and a decline in problem-solving ability. Low levels likely play a role in conditions like ADHD, depression, and eating disorders. In research, some essential oils demonstrate the ability to act as dopamine modulators. These are agents that increase or balance the levels of dopamine in the brain. Research concludes that these 7 essential oils significantly increase suppressed dopamine or balance dopamine levels in the brain. Bergamot, clary sage, lavender, lemon, melissa, bay laurel, and basil. Serotonin is a neurotransmitter associated with mood, sleep, sexuality, appetite, and other body functions. Low or abnormal levels of serotonin are associated with depression, angry or aggressive behavior, anxiety disorders, and obsessive compulsive disorder. Low levels of serotonin likely factor in migraine headaches and fibromyalgia. Research on these 10 essential oils show that they increase suppressed serotonin or balance serotonin levels in the brain. Atlas cedarwood, bergamot, clary sage, lavender, lemon, Roman chamomile, damask rose, sweet orange, and sandalwood, which isn't shown here because it was going to mess up my design. Oxytocin is not a neurotransmitter, but this information fits best here. Oxytocin is a hormone that plays an important role in pregnancy, labor, and delivery. It's associated with maternal behavior, adult bonding, feelings of affection, and feelings of safety. In the limited research done in this area, inhalations of lavender, clary sage, and jasmine stimulate oxytocin production. These essential oils increase our sense of feeling close and bonded with others. Our deep feelings of connection, equilibrium, and safety depend on balanced brain chemistry. Regularly diffusing and inhaling essential oils that support healthy brain chemistry is key to promoting our wellness. Use these blends liberally to diffuse in your living space, to mist over your head and shoulders and inhale, as body lotions and as massage lubricants. The first blend is bergamot, Melissa officinalis, damask rose, and Atlas cedarwood. The second, lemon, lavender, clary sage, and sandalwood. You can make up any of the formulations we've discussed in this presentation as a body lotion or as a massage lubricant. Combine your essential oil blend with expeller pressed vegetable oil or with plain lotion or cream. You'll combine between 12 to 24 drops of essential oil with 1 ounce of vegetable oil, lotion, or cream. If you use a lotion or cream, make sure it does not contain fragrance, that there are no dyes, no petroleum, or no mineral oil. Now, the aromatherapy suppliers that I presented to you at the beginning of this session often have great lotion and cream bases that are aromatherapy friendly. These blends I'm about to present utilize well-known antidepressant essential oils. Use these blends in a variety of ways: diffusion, mist, bath blend, body lotion, massage lubricant, and so forth to support your wellness if you're feeling blue. However, if your symptoms of depression are long-lasting or severe, please seek support from a mental health professional. And remember, essential oils cannot take the place of antidepressant medications. Frankincense, geranium, and grapefruit, sweet orange, nutmeg, and ylang-ylang, or mandarin, neroli, and amyris. All 3 of these blends smell beautiful and support you if you're feeling low. Excellent. The only thing we have left in this section are essential oils with euphoric properties. Euphorics are agents that promote positive feelings of expansion, connection, and consciousness. In general terms, euphorics work by increasing the activity of the prefrontal cortex. They also act directly on some types of serotonin receptors. Euphorics sedate the amygdala and the thalamus. We already know that the amygdala is part of the limbic system and associated with fear responses and with pleasure. The abnormal functioning of the amygdala is linked to anxiety and depression. The thalamus is a small structure within the brain located just above the brainstem. It functions to relay motor and sensory signals to the cerebral cortex. It also regulates sleep, alertness, and wakefulness. Euphorics reduce fear. They support us as we step more fully into our life. They connect us with our loved ones who are present or far away. They link us to the past and the future, to our ancestors and to future generations. They expand our sense of consciousness so that we can feel beyond present knowing. They connect us with our hopes, dreams, goals, and desires, and they invite us to deeper, richer, and more complex thinking and feeling. Euphorics typically contain small amounts of psychedelic substances, and that's how they work. But I don't want you to be confused. The euphorics used in aromatherapy are not as strong as psychedelic mushrooms or peyote when they're used in standard aromatherapy concentrations. For example, nutmeg essential oil is produced from the ground spice of Myristica fragrans. Isn't that the best botanical name ever? We put it on our coffee and we commonly use it in baking. Nutmeg contains a psychoactive chemical called myristicin, whose chemical structure shares similarities with mescaline, amphetamine, and ecstasy. When the grated spice is consumed in large quantities, between 1 and 2 tablespoons, it can cause hallucinations and a sensation of floating that literally lasts for up to 5 days. These effects were first reported by Hildegard de Bingen in the 12th century. In these quantities, you're going to get very sick. And also, nutmeg in these quantities would spike your blood pressure and you could experience serious complications. So obviously, I do not recommend this. The essential oil also contains myristicin, and if you were to ingest it in large quantities, you would get sick. But when nutmeg essential oil is applied topically or inhaled using standard aromatherapy methods, it creates a pronounced feeling of connection and a sense of expansion. I like to say that nutmeg places you in your body and in the universe at the same time. This is a fantastic essential oil to use for meditation, for a romantic night with a partner, or for personal rituals that connect you to your life and to the universe. Euphorics typically have deep ties to ritual use in ancient cultures because of these psychoactive components. The ritual use of frankincense in the ancient world was enormous, and its psychoactive effects were well known and documented by the ancient Egyptians, Greeks, Romans, and pre-Islamic Arabs. There were 5 species of boswellia trees producing frankincense in the ancient world. As the fame of this beautiful resin spreads throughout this vast region, frankincense develops one primary association, and that's the sun. Throughout more than 5,000 years of history, frankincense is associated with the sun and offered to sun gods and goddesses in the region where it was available. Burning frankincense was purifying. People would stand over the smoke to spiritually cleanse themselves. It was used in ceremony to bring people into one mind and to help them lift their thoughts from earthly concerns to the glory of sun gods and goddesses. In fact, in the Old Kingdom of ancient Egypt, frankincense was burned at sunrise to welcome Ra, the sun god, into the sky each morning. Modern scientists confirm that burning frankincense caused euphoria because 2 compounds in the resin react when burned to form THC, the active ingredient in cannabis. Now, the essential oil does not contain THC. Its euphoric effects are attributed to a different component, insensol acetate, which has been widely researched as an anti-anxiety and antidepressant agent. Along with frankincense and nutmeg, a number of other essential oils contain gentle euphoric properties that give us a sense of ease and well-being. These essential oils include bergamot, blue lotus, cardamom, clary sage, clovebud, cyperus, ginger, grapefruit, heliochrysum, jasmine, neroli, and rosemary. Use essential oils with euphoric properties when you feel lonely, when you feel separated from loved ones, or when you feel detached from the world, detached from the meaning of life, or detached from your connection to your goals and dreams. Use these euphoric synergies in aroma mists, in spiritual perfumes applied with roller tops, or in body lotions or as massage lubricants. Clary sage, frankincense, and neroli. Nutmeg, grapefruit, and jasmine. Yum yum. Cypress, bergamot, and cardamom. One way to experience the benefits of the sensuous, connecting nature of euphoric synergies is through an aromatherapy bath. Fill the tub with warm, not hot water and light candles. Play beautiful and inspiring music if you wish. Add the euphoric synergy of your choice to expeller pressed vegetable oil. Use 24 drops per ounce of oil. Apply the synergy to your skin and then sink into the warm tub of water and let yourself drift. There's no need to wash off the oil using soap. When you're done, just dry off and enjoy your soft skin. I love to use this Serbian saying as a type of connecting affirmation. It is, be humble, for you are made of earth. Be noble, for you are made of stars. Be humble, for you are made of earth. Be noble, for you are made of stars. Well done. We now have a much stronger sense of the psychological effects of essential oils and how to use those effects to promote mental health, emotional equilibrium, and wellness. I'm going to talk just briefly about learned odor responses because they can be so powerful. A learned odor response is when an aroma is consciously or subconsciously paired with a person, place, or thing. So basically, if you smell something and it makes you think of something else or it reminds you of something else, that's a learned odor response. For example, oftentimes when people smell rose essential oil, they'll say, oh, this reminds me of my grandmother who used to wear a rose-based perfume. That's a learned odor response in action. In research studies, learned odor responses have been used successfully to lower blood pressure, reduce colon spasms, slow heavy breathing, reduce anxiety, increase sensations of well-being, and reduce triggered responses to trauma. When you connect an aroma with positive behaviors, the aroma can help you stay anchored in those behaviors. So think about the positive learned odor responses you're creating every time you use an essential oil. Excellent work. We have taken a look at aromatherapy basics and the psychological uses of essential oils. We've talked about learned odor responses. Now let me point you towards some resources and then we'll wrap up. So we're going to take a little tour of Plant Spirit Life. Here we are at plantspiritlife.com and I'm going to scroll down from the home page. And first of all, you're going to see this area, Explore Free Downloads. This one, Plants for Wellness, is my favorite because right here you can download this great little PDF I created about how to make citrus pomander gifts. And this is the perfect time of year to do it. So get that and get some of the other free downloads. I'm going to go back. And we're going to continue to scroll down. If you'd like, get on my mailing list, and I've got a really cool initiative coming up January 1st of 2021. So if you want to find out about that, make sure to get on my mailing list. And then these are the Plant Spirit Life folios that I talked about a little bit earlier. Now here's the one on safety. Here is the one on blending. This one is carriers and formulations, which can really be helpful. This one is botanical names. This one is essential oil chemistry. So they all have different topics. Oops, this one's aromatherapy for the body if you're really interested in the physiological effects of essential oils. But when you click on one of these, it will take you to a page like this, give you a little description, and when you buy now, it puts it in your cart. Now this one, Essential Oil Safety, is completely free and is always free. And because I didn't talk at all about safety during the presentation, this would be a great thing to get and read. And you will have to go through the checkout process to get it, but it won't charge you anything and it won't ask for your credit card. Coming back. Now, as we continue to scroll down, here you'll see recommendations, and these are books that I like. These are the aromatherapy suppliers, different places to get great bottles, workshops, all that kind of stuff. So check that out. And coming back again, and scrolling down a little bit more. And do check out my blog posts. Right now, because I don't have a lot of time, I'm doing a lot of work in other areas. This is where I sort of tell stories about plants, about their cultural histories, and talk a little bit about the spiritual aspect of plants. All right, there you have it. That's plantspiritlife.com. Along with Plant Spirit Life, I hope you'll check out massagemastery.online. We've got some great free stuff for massage professionals, so go take a look. As we wrap up, I just want to say thank you so much for joining me on this journey today. We started here, New Year's Eve 2019, and I think we can all agree that this has been a crazy year, full of sadness, fear, and uncertainty about the future. But together, we learned about the psychological effects of essential oils and how to use them to maintain our mental clarity, our emotional equilibrium, and our sense of wellness. I hope that when you feel lonely or disconnected or fearful in the days ahead, you'll pick up an essential oil, inhale, let the aroma soothe you, and remember to breathe and be strong and be kind. This too shall pass. I'm sending love to all my aromatherapy and massage therapy colleagues. Thank you again. Goodbye.